Hi there. So I had an experience yesterday that I thought I would share because I feel like it is highlighting an important message. And so yesterday I was at an in-person networking event and I ran into a guy that I had met before at a different networking event. I met him a couple times before. And so we kind of gravitated toward each other just to say hi. And one of the first things he said to me was, I'm going to help you out. I know someone who recently had dental implants, and it's making him not know how to talk very well. It's impacting his speech. And I see that you recently had dental implants and your speech is impacted. And I stopped him right there because none of that is true. And I said, and I leaned up to him because it was really loud, and I said, it's not my teeth causing my issues. I was born this way. And he looked at me a bit puzzled. And I said, I have a cleft palate, and that creates challenges with your speaking voice. So it has nothing to do with my teeth. Yes, I have a bridge because I passed out at the sight of blood and knocked out all of my teeth, and they put in this bridge, and it's not a very nice looking one right now. But that's not what's causing my speech issues. I was born this way. And it really got me thinking, had I ran into him and had this conversation 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I probably would have went home and cried. And I would have thought, I am never doing this again. People always give me a hard time about the way I talk. They always point out my flaws. And I would have went into this victim mentality, this victim mindset, and went into this, rabbit hole of people always do this or never do this. And yesterday, truth be told, it's not that it didn't bother me at all, but it didn't bother me that much. It mainly highlighted the fact that, my teeth are more noticeable than maybe I imagined or had hoped, and highlighted the fact that I am self-conscious about my teeth right now, and I was still a little offended about my speech as well, but it didn't bother me near as much as it would have a long time ago. I recognized that in his own little way, although it was insulting, it was his way of trying to be nice. I don't even know what he was going to say. I feel like he was probably going to help me by referring me to a dentist. Because we were at networking, and that's what you do, you refer people. I don't know, I'll never know. But I feel like I wanted to share this message because I am being called to speak and share this message of how important it is to do the inner work, to develop that self-confidence, the sense of self-worth, and understand that no matter what you think is wrong with you, physically, a lot of us, most of us, have some kind of physical challenge, whether it's visible or invisible. Mine's more visible than some people's. But doing the inner work and understanding that it doesn't have to hold you back is so important. I grew up, for many years, I believed that my voice would always limit me. It was my voice, I couldn't change it, And it is what it is. I'm never going to have a good life. I'm never going to be able to make good quality friends because I have a hard time with people understanding me. Like, I always thought, people can't understand me. People can't hear me. And so how can I ever have a good quality of life? I just kind of accepted it. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. And it wasn't until a few years ago, really, that I realized that it was never my voice that limited me. It was my thoughts and beliefs about it that did. And that shift changed everything. When you realize that it's not your actual physical challenge that's limiting you, it's your thoughts. You can change your thoughts. You may not be able to change your physical challenge. I can't change my voice. I can do some work and maybe speech therapy, talk slower, to maybe improve it a little bit. But it is what it is. I can't change the structure of my palate and my muscles and all the things that creates the challenges with my voice. But I can change how I think about it. So now, I feel like what I thought was my greatest challenge, my voice, is really now my greatest gift. Because it's allowing me to help others realize that whatever their challenge is, it doesn't have to hold them back. That it is a shift in mindset. It's in your mind. It's a shift in thinking. And I'm not saying that's an easy shift to make. It's absolutely not. You need to understand that what are your beliefs? What did I grow up thinking? Where did that come from? What are these old programmings and these stories that I've been telling myself my entire life? And how can I start shifting them and taking baby steps to do that? So it's not an easy process. And it's not like flipping a light switch, like, oh, it's going to happen immediately. I still have insecurities about my voice. I still have fears of speaking. Even now on video, as much as I love doing videos, it makes me nervous because I know I'm hard to hear and sometimes hard to understand. And that's just a fact, and that just kind of goes with the territory, and it makes me nervous sometimes. But I feel that fear and do it anyway, because I know that that's how I'm going to become more confident and more secure. And so that's really what I do in my talk, is to help other women, primarily women, understand and make that switch. And that's what I do with my coaching too. And it's really important work. And so I just wanted to share that, if you have this physical challenge and that if you can relate to my story, my scenario at all, know that you can make a change. If you're like me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you would have went home and been upset, then there's work you can do that can shift that mindset. And so I'm happy to help you with that. But just know that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to hold yourself back. You're worthy of a better life. You're worthy of doing whatever you want. And you're worthy of respect. And you can do it. And it's just a matter of doing the work to believe in yourself and make that switch. I hope that's helpful. Until next time, many blessings.